is like 1,580 something point. 1,600 if you wrap it up from way up there at 26,000 down to close to 24,000. This is a big deal. And again, this is economic warfare undoubtedly against this president. They've been trying as hard as they can. There he is touring the country, getting thousands of factories back, and now this happens. You better believe something this big is meant to embarrass him on his big economic tour he's involved in. It was Lloyd Blankfein, the head of Goldman Sachs, that heads up the New World Order, that said a few months ago, I was in China. Their industry's much bigger. How's your industry, how's your infrastructure week going? This is the economic war in our country right now. So going back to Doug Hagman.
Fantastic points, and the economy, the money. We are just going to kill the dollar from 5, 6 years ago, 7 years ago. This is blowback by the deep state. You're absolutely right. An incredible time to be alive to witness this. And of course, the controls by the deep state include the dollar, the purchasing power of our dollar, the food, everything that this is absolute blowback, and I think it's designed, obviously, to really take everyone's attention away from really what's important. Of course, this is important, but it's more of a symptom than the actual problem. Man, 15. Imagine 20 years ago, 30 years ago. I remember sitting actually outside of a bank 30 years ago, watching bankers come out of this bank. It was October of '87, I believe it was, and the Dow had dropped, I think, 300 points. It was just imagine today. That was nothing compared to today. So we have to keep our eye on what's taking place. Watch the blowback. The blowback is incredibly important. So, and Alex, thank you very much for keeping me informed on this. By the way, if I got a comment the other day. It was Saturday, saying, hey, you know what, you sounded pretty good on Infowars. And I told him, I said, man, you got to try. I just have to mention this. The Real Red Pill, I got to tell you, I don't know what's in that, but go to Infowars store. You got to get this product, the Real Red Pill, and sell for it. Look, this stuff really works. I can see through walls. I know I can't, but you get the idea. The Real Red Pill, as well as Cellforce, which is on sale right now. Limited time sale on Cellforce by Infowars, 53% off discount, $69.95. You can't beat that. I take it. I feel great. Never felt better before in my life. So make sure you visit Infowars store. Purchasing that not only helps you, it helps people like Infowars, entities like Infowars, and us stay on the air. So getting back to this issue, I happen to think, too, 33,942 surveillance warrants were granted in a 33-year period. Talking about numbers with respect to the stock market and such. Think about this. The FISA court was established back in 1979, I believe it was. I'm going from memory here. The only note I've got is this number, 33,942. That's the number of surveillance warrants that were actually issued. You know how many were denied in that 33-year period? 12, which represents a 0.03% denial rate. Incredible. One denied, of course, henceforth, later on. This is unbelievable. I just heard music. Am I on my way out there? Okay. All right, folks. You're listening to Infowars. Doug Hagman sitting. Sorry about that. Got insanity in my ears. Remember that?
Alex Jones here to tell you about how you can help spread liberty worldwide while also enjoying what I have found to be the best tasting 100% organic coffee on the planet. For more than a decade, my favorite coffee has come from the high mountains of southern Mexico, where the Chiapas farmers grow their unique shade-grown Arabica beans. We have now managed to secure these sought-after beans in a highly customized blend. Discover and try a bag of the Patriot Blend 100% organic coffee at InfoWarsLife.com. This coffee gives you a long, smooth pick-me-up for hours without the headaches and heartburn that so many other coffees give me personally. Hands down, this is my favorite coffee, and it's taken us years to secure connections directly to the Chiapas Mexican farmers. Drop by the site today, order a bag or two, and I don't think you're going to be disappointed. Available in original or with our immune support infusion blend, you will be supporting a free press, all the while enjoying a truly great tasting cup of my favorite coffee. Available at InfoWarsLife.com.
Maximize your potential and take your body back with Super Male Vitality. We're breaking the conditioning and fighting back against the globalist war on male vitality. Our ultimate non-GMO formula is sourced from powerful organic herbs that have been gathered from around the world and then concentrated for maximum potency. Super Male Vitality was developed to activate your body's natural processes instead of using synthetic chemicals. Infowars Life wants to bring you the highest quality products. Our unique combination of ingredients is designed to assist the body in regulating proper balance and creating superior vitality in males. Support your body and mind and take yourself to the next level. Boost your vitality and energize your life. Take control of your body. Grab a bottle of Super Male Vitality today at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com.
Kevin in Virginia. You can jump anytime you want. Roger Stone, go ahead, Kevin.
Hey, Alex. Hey, my girlfriend was hit by a car a few years ago, and she died twice on the way to Hershey Medical Center. I mean, so there was some serious brain injury, and she has a brachial plexus on her right side. She's kind of paralyzed on her right side. But besides that, I put her on Brain Force. Alex, her quality of life, you don't understand. She can remember names. She can remember a lot of stuff. And her quality of life, because of your product, is one of the best that I've ever seen. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart coming out with something like that. Because you have changed somebody's life for the better. And it's one of the most powerful things that I've ever seen. Because of your brain force. She can remember things. And it's just awesome. You don't know how great and how happy I am because of that, and I thank you, and I know you're a real person and a good person because of that. I know you have the American's heart. You know,
well, absolutely. Look, I believe everybody doing good, then I do good, but we're going to set out to have a product to research whatever's already the best, then discount it, show you love it, and order again. I mean, it's self-serving as well. I take it. Roger Stone lives by it, don't you, Roger?
Yeah, no, look, of all the products on the Infowars store, this is my absolute favorite. I find that I get this dip in energy, both mental and physical energy, around 4 in the afternoon.
Me too.
I pop 2 of these, and I get mental clarity, I get mental energy, I get a slight lift in my physical energy, and I'm able to work another 7-8 hours. And I really find Brain Force Plus just an extraordinarily effective, and yet I could sleep. There's no hang. You're not ramped up. You're not amped up the way amphetamines do. I can't say enough about it.
Kevin, we love you and thank you, and we're all in it together, brother. Thank you so much.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show. Live from the Infowars.com studios, it's Alex Jones.
You keep saying you got something for me.
And welcome back to Infowars.com. Sitting in for Alex Jones, it's me, Doug Hagman. I've got to tell you, great music, by the way. But the information presented just today alone, incredible. I'm going to have to listen to the interview with Andre from Russia again. But getting back into the core issue, the takeaway from my appearance today, if I can just leave you with one real important distinction. And we are ahead. I believe Infowars.com, Hagman Report, Alex Jones, myself, we are ahead of the curve on this. Watch for discussions now of a couple of things. Additional memos coming out, the investigation moving from the Department of Justice and the FBI. There will be additional information coming out along with the foundational documents of that. But watch for the investigation. And by the way, obviously the OIG, Mike Horowitz, but watch for the investigation of the Department of State. This coming out is going to be absolutely earth-shaking, as much as perhaps the Department of Justice and the FBI. But the other takeaway is I believe the unintentional conflation, or perhaps the fact that many people are not recognizing the extent of the surveillance as depicted by the Nunes memo. You heard all weekend, as I did. Man, I'll tell you what, my ears were bleeding really from listening to so many audio clips and watching so many pundits talk about what really happened. But when you really get to it, I've not heard anyone mention this outside of Cheryl Atkinson. When you really get down to it, there's a key distinction about this that's being overlooked. It's by many who are talking out there, and that is in the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. It specifically notes that the targeting of U.S. individual Carter Page was not, I'm underlining this, was not a FISA Title VII search request. The Title VII FISA 702 that we hear so much about it references the incidental collection of U.S. persons' information as it relates to national security. Now, this was a Title I. This warrant request was a Title I, and it was made on October 21st, 2016. Again, under Title I of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, meaning that the surveillance application was specifically stating to the FISA court, the U.S. individual was likely an actual agent of a foreign government, a spy. This is what Carter Page is dealing with. This is what the October 2016 FISA warrant was. This is the October 2016 FISA warrant. Now consider what they're saying here, and not only that, consider the ramifications from this, because we're not talking just surveillance over Carter Page and any incidental collection along with the unmasking. That would be bad enough. We are talking about something totally different here at a new level of horrendous. That is a Title I FISA warrant, and I'll tell you how horrendous this is. If you're out there and you type an email, for example, that mentions Carter Page, yes, a private citizen, you could be caught up in this dragnet. Think about Carter Page as he was doing business in Moscow with Merrill Lynch, and then a minor advisor on the Donald Trump team. Think about everyone he had contact with. What this Title I warrant did was put a giant bullseye on every person that ever shook hands, essentially, with Carter Page. This is the difference between a 702 warrant and a Title I warrant. If you go away from this segment without anything else, understand how important the distinction is. This requires the National Security Division, by the way, and the FBI, the Counterintelligence Division. This requires an entirely new level of proof, well beyond anything that the FISA court or the 702 requires. They were not just asking to review the ancillary data collected on a U.S. person as an outcome of surveillance on a foreign. No, that would be Title VII. That would be, and we got to understand the difference. It sounds confusing, but it's really not. Title VII, FISA 702, that's one thing. Title I is something totally different. And in this action outlined within the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, in that memo, the Department of Justice and the FBI they were telling the FISA court that they had evidence that the U.S. citizen, Carter Page, was working as an agent of a foreign government. Think Robert Hansen, even beyond that perhaps, at that level, that accusation level, which is why we're seeing the pushback by Carter Page, because it's one thing to be caught up in a surveillance or to be named in a surveillance. It's another to be identified as a Russian hostile agent, and that's what happened here. Now, he was their target, and therefore a direct target of the FISA Title I surveillance on October 21st, 2016. And to give validity to the underlying position of the Department of Justice and the FBI, the Justice Department used the Clinton Steele dossier, media reports from and of the Clinton Steele dossier. And this is not, pay attention, this is where the Department of State is going to come in. Yes, I understand it's 2016. Yes, I understand that Hillary Clinton left the Department of State in 2013. But the carryovers, John Kerry, for example, the policies and procedures, as well as the input don't think that Hillary Clinton just left and had no other contact. No, this goes beyond 2013, her 2013 departure, but I digress. But this also involves Nellie and Bruce Orr. This is how it all fits together. You got to get a flow chart almost. So in total, this was a very sketchy, very ad hoc assembly of political campaign research, disguised as intelligence and not even disguised very well, all with the authorship of Hillary Rodham Clinton. And the kicker is this. This leads all the way up to Barack Hussein Obama. I'm going to tell you right now, Obama knew. Obama was okay with it at the very least, or had some level of direction. I think we're going to find the latter as opposed to the former. Now, without knowing the court had been provided political research, the FISA court granted the FBI full surveillance authority under Title I of Carter Page. And what that did was that acted like a domino, and that was like a tripwire for the rest of the surveillance that was conducted. So Comey, look, Comey, we know Comey lied in his testimony. We know Comey lied when he put his John Hancock on that FISA warrant. We know that Rod Rosenstein and Sally Yates intentionally deceived the FISA court. This is me saying this from my personal research and my personal investigation. But this goes much deeper and much wider, and this is by orders of magnitude far greater than Watergate could ever be. Any comparison to Watergate should never ever be. This is a dictatorship move by Barack Hussein Obama, conspiring with his Department of Justice, his FBI. And I know you might be getting tired of hearing about this, but let me tell you, the details, the devil is really in the details in this. And when the details come out, and trust me when I tell you this, when the details come out of how bad this is, that memo was just the Nunes memo, just giving a little bit of information in terms of the underlying documentation. When you see, and I've talked to an FBI agent who spoke, well, I guess I'll just say this. I've talked to an FBI agent who spoke with the staff of one of the committee members who saw the underlying documentation, and it is brutal. I'll just share that with you. It's brutal, and when it comes out, it's gonna hit like a thud. You heard that audio clip about Sean Hannity, and this is Sean Hannity's alternate reality. No. This is actually information that Sean Hannity will be leading off with. You're ahead. You are ahead in the information war right now by listening to Infowars. You're ahead in the information war as you listen, of course, to this segment. And I've got to tell you, what's coming next is going to be something critical. Watch the stock market. Watch the ups and downs of the stock market, the volatility there. Watch what happens, because there's blowback. Make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright and locked position, because it's going to get bumpy out there. I'm going to tell you, Doug Hagman sitting in for Alex, Infowars. Tune into Infowars tomorrow, 11 to 3 Central Time. I'm Doug Hagman on HagmanReport.com, Doug Hagman Radio Show, and you've just been informed. This is fantastic. I just want to thank each and every one of you for being with us. And as I said, this is going to be an incredible episode.
Mike in Arizona, you're on the air worldwide. Go ahead.
Oh, Alex, you can rant any day of the week. Thank you, sir, for doing what you do and being a patriot and doing your best to save America and encouraging us as fellow patriots to do that in our local areas as well. And as a longtime Infowars listener, I want to say thanks for the awesome Brain Force, Anthroplex. My girlfriend would like to say thanks for the Anthroplex, too.
Thank you.
I use the BioTrue Selenium, the Super Blue toothpaste. For you folks who aren't big normal toothpaste fans, the Super Blue is awesome. And thank you so much, Alex, for the Infowars Life products. They are quality. I can't wait to get some more. And thank you so much for doing that for us to keep us healthy.
Absolutely.
Because then we could all, as educated patriots, help our other countrymen and women understand that there's a bigger problems going on, and if we can get our houses in order and be good to each other and ourselves, we can take our country back.
to the top of the food chain with Alpha Power by Infowars Life. For those who want to increase testosterone and energy levels. Most men know that testosterone levels begin to decline starting around 30 at a rate of about 1 to 2% per year. This drop can show signs such as fatigue, low energy, low sex drive, and muscle loss. Alpha Power is packed with some of the most potent and clinically tested ingredients on the market. The secret is in the synergistic blend of ancient ingredients that have been concentrated into their most potent forms, including Uricoma longifolia, originally from Malaysia, maca root from Peru, horny goatweed from China, and tribulus from India. Reach your alpha male potential with Alpha Power. Get Alpha Power now at 50% off and secure your bottle today.
Leading a frontal assault on the lies of the New World Order, it's Alex Jones. Defending the Republic from enemies, foreign and domestic. It's Alex Jones. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on this Monday, the 5th day of February, 2018. Every show gets more power-packed because time is compressing. We're headed towards the singularity. It is an incredible time to be alive. The Eagles have the big upset win, and the big story behind the story is that it was the binding force of their Christian faith, according to the coach and the players, that had them break the back of the NFL's globalist poison. And that's why all of them unanimously have not kneeled. That's why they've been basically immune to the Hollywood brainwashing. And that's the story behind the story. That's coming up in the broadcast. Also, obviously, we have a whole nother twist on that front. Colts Edwin Jackson, starring linebacker, killed after being struck by suspected drunk driver. And the media didn't get it right nationally. Locally, they did. Liberal media wouldn't say the guy was an illegal alien. Conservative media would say he was from Mexico, deported twice. Now, he was from Guatemala, deported at least twice, and illegal alien. And the issue here is they won't say it. When you see somebody run over folks in France or Germany or shoot people or bomb them, they'll say a German man attacked people with a truck today. And then he's been there 2 years. He's a, quote, migrant or refugee. It's the same thing with that. If you were a illegal alien in Mexico from wherever in the world, say China, the U.S., wherever, and you run over somebody drunk, they'd say, in the country illegally, this individual ran over X. But it's such a unified front all over the Western world for the left to cover up the crime statistics. And the big one with illegals is the serious drunk driving. But it just shows the media controls. We're going to go through all the different sections of that. There's a very illustrative quote and audio file from a podcast he was on, Jimmy Kimmel. It used to be funny, that's turned into a total mouthpiece of Chucky Schumer. He talks to Chucky Schumer, he said pretty much 7 days a week, but 5 nights a week, he talks to him about what to put in his monologue, what to say, what to do. The Democrats also work with Colbert, you name it, and you can see the talking points there every day. But he's come out and said, libs excel at late night hosting because job requires intelligence. No, we know for a fact that Jay Leno is more of a libertarian, certainly not a liberal, and that he had double the ratings of his replacement, and that he was rooted out because he isn't vicious and nasty. And he's spoken about that. So people that have better ratings than you, I mean, how many other TV hosts, how many other comics have been removed off of their television programs? Mr. Allen last year, the list goes on, because they didn't toe the line, even though he had a hit show. By the way, in talk radio
And in the publication world and some of the other areas, it's universally libertarians and conservatives and nationalists where you've got to stand alone and really talk for hours and hours. There are not leftists that can ever be successful or get ratings. No one. They all get talking points, they read off teleprompters, they wear fancy suits, and they say the same thing. Saturday Night Live, Nunez is a slave, a rat. Same thing was said on Bill Maher's program. He's a dirty rat. They get the talking point, they regurgitate it, reading off a teleprompter, and then they call that smart, and they celebrate how smart they are. Sorry, I've been to your rallies. I've seen your constituents. They look like they've been shot with a mutation ray. They look like the undead. And everybody knows it. Everybody knows you prey on a giant, dumbed-down, poor population. Now, on the top, the richest people, 3 to 1, are leftist because they're parasites feeding on their slaves. That part's true.
You deserve a deep, restful sleep with Knockout by Infowars Life. Our organic formula is made from high-quality natural ingredients such as valerian root extract, L-tryptophan, lemon balm leaf extract, and melatonin. Knockout packs a powerful punch to get you through the night and achieve proper sleep. Millions of people around the world experience daytime drowsiness, but with the rapid speed of life, we need to be able to keep up the pace. Our natural mixture harnesses the power of 10 known ingredients to let your body relax and get the sleep you need. Wake up refreshed and take on the day. Infowars Life wants to bring you a sleep support formula that goes above and beyond other leading brands at an affordable price. Get the sleep you deserve and experience the power of Knockout. Head on over to InfoWarsLife.com and say goodbye to fatigue. That's InfoWarsLife.com.
From deep in the heart of FEMA Region 6, Austin, Texas, transmitting worldwide, it's Alex Jones.
The first thing I want to cover out of the gates today is what I'm going to be covering in the next 4 hours. And that is the incredible lies of little Adam Schiff, the ranking Democrat on the House Select Intelligence Committee. Little Adam Schiff, it turns out, was a favorite on RT over the years. Even when Obama was in office, saying that the FISA court should be transparent and shouldn't be political, and that their activities should be made public. And this video has gotten basically no attention. It's up on Infowars.com and Newswars.com, an article that Paul Watson wrote. And then we've got videos beneath it of him on Fox News over the weekend and other networks saying there's going to be a new Oklahoma City bombing if you keep making this political. You made it political, lying with DNC funding, and you've been involved, we now know, going to the FISA court, and then having a bunch of Democrat operatives at the top of the FBI and Justice Department sit around and try to keep Trump out of office. It has to come out. It's amazing. You did spy on the president. You guys went all over television starting in late January of last year, so a little more than a year ago, and said on every channel over and over again like parrots until my head was going to explode that there was never any spying on anybody in Trump's entourage, his campaign, zero. Now, they just previously, until January 20th, been everywhere, New York Times, Washington Post, saying we had spying on Trump Tower. We were spying on his campaign. You better watch it, Trump. We've got evidence you're a Russian. They were bluffing. They were hoping there was something there. They had Susan Rice, all of them in the White House, we now know, in daily briefings with Obama, who ordered it, listening to everything they were doing with hundreds of people dialed in. I mean, they had a war room going. Admiral Rogers, on the 17th of November of 2016, 2016, when the president had only been in office elect 10 days, not even in office, but president-elect 10 days, went to Trump Tower to brief him and said, sir, you were illegally surveilled. That's why they then days later said that was unauthorized. Well, he's the incoming president. That's normal. Then they all called Clapper and Brennan for his firing because he wasn't a traitor. So think about this. They're all over the news in September and October and November, recklessly saying, we know they're all Russian agents. We've been spying on them. Trump gets in. Rogers comes and meets. Rogers explains how it was illegal, how the FISA court 3 times refused it, and they came back with orders from Obama. Rogers explains, sir, you can't release it until you're actively the president. Then you can, but you need to know what's happened. Trump becomes president. He's sworn in on the 20th of January, 2017. And then he says, there's a lot of leaking going on. There's been spying on me. It's illegal. And it's going to come out soon to the proper channels. They all lie and say, Trump is insane. No one ever spied. Comey goes and testifies, no one ever spied on anybody in the Trump campaign or any of his entourage. Mueller says it. Rosenstein says it. Clapper says it. Brennan says it. They all go on television under oath and say, this is insane, close quote. The president is crazy, close quote. Even though they were all on record saying, you watch it, buddy. There's 7 ways to Sunday, the intelligence community to bring you down. We've been spying on you, and we have the intercepts. Remember when Schumer said that on CNN? We have them all bragging until the president goes, you know that's illegal. And you know leaking it's illegal. And they went, oh gosh, he's the president now. You're crazy, you're insane, no one was spying on you. In a 24-hour period from the 20th, we're on the front page of the paper. Wiretaps of Trump Tower prove Russian collusion. Roger Stone's an agent. We have him under direct command under Putin. Totally made up. Like saying he's under direct command of Mary Poppins. Trump goes, you know, that's all illegal. The next day, they go, you're insane. We never said it. It's crazy. Oh, my gosh. And I know you all remember this, but it's key to get this out to everybody and to take this live video and slash radio transmission, and I'm going to post this later at Infowars, this little segment, and send it out to your friends and family, because I can't tell you how many people have called me and texted me from Hollywood, media, Congress, you name it, and said, will you send me one of your best videos explaining, because I'm arguing with my wife that there was illegal spying, but she's saying there wasn't, but now they're admitting there was. This is an important topic, because they didn't just get the warrants illegally with lies. They didn't just perjure themselves to Congress. They lied to everybody and said they never spied on anybody in the Trump entourage. When you have the Nunes memo, and then you've got the actual 99-page investigation put out last year and got attention a few weeks ago of the FISA court, where they said it was illegal what was going on. This is their own report to the president, saying, sir, this is what happened to you. And you got Peter Schiff fighting to have any of this released because him and Obama are both involved. That's why they're so scared. That's why they're so bug-eyed. That's why they're so desperate, because they thought they would get away with this. They thought Hillary was going to end up being elected. So now Nunes, as Trump said in his cover letter last week, is getting ready to release a bunch of other damning information, because they're not backing down, where they threaten to go after the president physically, where they're getting orders to take him down, where they're talking in text messages about leaking classified information, which didn't even contain treason or crime, but they claim it's a leak, so it makes it one. You understand? And then they're using the secrecy wall to make stuff up and then pass it through, like Comey and others got caught doing. So they want it. It's all going to happen. And see, they can't give up, because they're innately criminal, and they know they're criminal, and their whole system's going over the edge right now. So the next big question is, what are they going to pull next? Because because they spied on a candidate, the Republican nominee, president-elect, right through the day he was president, and it came out they had their deep state people still in the NSA, still in the FBI, still in the CIA, and they were still leaking disinfo against the country. It's being reported Nunes wants to publish as many as 5 more memos. What did I say 2 weeks ago? I said I'm told it's a roadmap for more memos to come out that are going to be extensive with the bibliography, with the fact sheets, with a roadmap. Some of these memos they're saying are going to be hundreds of pages long of just text messages. We're going to get this son of a bitch. Don't worry, we're going to bring him down. You know, if we can't find it, we're going to have to make it up. If we can't get him on Russian connections, we're going to say he obstructed justice. We got to get somebody to roll and say that he said something that isn't true. I mean, they've already told the public what's there. I've talked to the sources. You think this other stuff hurt the FBI? What's hurting it is they won't roll over and stop their criminal activity at the Clinton Crime Network. And the media, the globalist media, won't give up. So it's going to have to all come out. It's kind of like your child doesn't carry out the trash, doesn't do the right thing, so you take away extra allowance. And they don't do that, so you ground them. They don't do that. Got to get serious. You're going to go to military school. I'm going to sign your ass up and ship you off. You get your ass in gear right now. You see, it's the same thing. We're sitting here going, man, listen, we're not going to stop. You're not stopping. And we got the goods on you. You don't have crap. So their only hope's killing the president. That's the bottom line. We'll be back. This is the Infowar. Spread those links, spread those articles, spread the live feeds, and tell folks about local stations. It's an act of rebellion.
Hey, did you know that you can now preserve your own food for up to 25 years and still maintain its nutrition and flavor? That's right. Now's the time to build your own food storage with Harvest Right's freeze dryers. Go to InfoWarsStore.com to learn more and check out this innovative and smart technology that's easy to use. And let me tell you something, it is perfect for freeze drying fruits, vegetables, meats, dairy products, desserts, and entire meals. Woo, that's what I'm talking about. And when compared to traditional methods of preservation, like canning or dehydrating, like what you get at the grocery store, there is no comparison. Harvest Right freeze dryers retain 97% of the food's taste, color, and nutritional value and have a shelf life of up to 25 years. Now that's what I call the miracle of food preservation. Harvest Right is truly the world's best, most affordable freeze dryer. So what are you waiting for? Check it out right now at InfoWarsStore.com.
I'm so excited. The new product at InfoWarsLife.com in a glass bottle, 2-month servings filled to the brim, filled to the absolute top, the real red pill. This is a heart and brain pill, a nootropic that doesn't have any stimulants in it. But boy, does it stimulate, because it's beyond that. Quite frankly, I just went off what I saw medical doctors prescribing to their patients, but it wasn't prescription, but they were charging people $100, $200 for the formulae, and I came up with our own formula working with some scientists and developers, non-GMO, made right here in America, 120 capsules, and ladies and gentlemen, you add the pregnenolone to it, which is the precursor to all the hormones that your body has to have to even make the hormones in your glands. It is amazing. Red pill, now available at InfoWarsStore.com, and your purchase funds the operation.
Support good oral health with our one-of-a-kind Super Blue fluoride-free products. Infowars Life brings you a revolutionary toothpaste blend with iodine and nano silver, designed to deliver a powerful clean. Enjoy a minty fresh flavor made with peppermint oil, or try our bubblegum flavor. Pair this groundbreaking toothpaste with the Super Blue fluoride-free mouthwash and supercharge your oral health. Our amazing mouthwash features natural oils and ancient ingredients used since Aboriginal and biblical times. Instead of containing fluoride, our Super Blue line is loaded with the good halogen iodine and an array of other beneficial compounds that have been hand-selected for their oral health benefits. Super Blue fluoride-free mouthwash and toothpaste are the first and only to contain all of these natural ingredients: xylitol, nano silver, and iodine. Notice the difference with our Super Blue fluoride-free products. Refresh your breath and invigorate your oral health routine at InfoWarsStore.com. That's InfoWarsStore.com.
Infowars Live is bringing you a breakthrough in modern medicine. We have found an extraordinary new natural way to help alleviate seasonal distress symptoms, including promoting clear nasal and sinus passageways, eye comfort, and respiratory health and normal breathing. This is pollen block. In the 1960s, researchers in France noticed that people who ate certain quail eggs from specific farms experienced less seasonal distress symptoms like runny nose, itchy, watery eyes, and excessive mucus production. They began studying the effects in published trials. Now we are introducing the fruit of the research, a fast-acting chewable tablet. Just chew 2 tablets at the first sign of seasonal distress, and fast-acting pollen block starts working in about 15 minutes to help alleviate seasonal distress. Enjoy the air you breathe naturally with fast-acting pollen block. Available now at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show. Waging war on corruption. It's Alex Jones coming to you live from the front lines of the Infowar.
Welcome back. I am your host, Alex Jones. It is Monday, the 5th day of February 2018. Later in this hour, I'm going to drill back into the memos. The Democrats want to put out their own memo. You've got Nunes saying he's got 5 more big memos that absolutely devastate Comey, Mueller, and the rest of them. And of course, I covered yesterday multiple congressmen have come out now and called for criminal indictments against Comey, Rosenstein, McCabe, and others because they've been caught in the text messages and in the memos and in the communiques saying it's political, saying it's to stop Trump, saying it's to stop him in the election, then to remove him once he's president-elect, and lying to the FISA court and not telling them that it was politically motivated or where the money for the so-called investigation came from. That is serious fraud upon the court. That is serious fraud upon the American people. Representative Paul Gosar calls for criminal prosecution of former top FBI, DOJ officials after release of Nunes' memo. The Republican from Arizona has a lot of courage, so we're going to be getting to that as well. But that said, I look at all of this news in front of me, and I wanted to just let you know some of the other news that's going to be coming up that I will cover today. The Islamicist behavior is sickening. And to watch the Islamicists wedded to George Soros and the universities and the modern leftist systems and modern leftist countries and cities, and to watch them allowed to commit unspeakable crimes with wanton abandon, and to see it covered up and protected, and then to see the parallel where illegal aliens can shoot a woman in the back, have been deported 5 times, and the jury virtue signals it doesn't even give the guy manslaughter. Think about that. And you see these cases constantly. You see the case coming up after the break of the Colts at when Jackson, star running back, reportedly killed by an illegal alien, and the media won't even say he's an illegal alien. The Indianapolis Star talked to the police. They know the guy's name. They know how many times he was deported. They know everything. But all the rest of the media can't even get it right. Conservative media, the Washington Times, says he's an illegal alien from Mexico. No, he's from Guatemala. That's why I go to the local paper, because they can get there on the ground, actually check the records, not just make stuff
stuff up like national media does so many times. It's really incredible, but NFL.com, ESPN, Huffington Post doesn't even say that the guy was from another country. It says, oh, the Indianapolis man, the Indianan. It's like when you see an Islamist who just got in the country a month before, runs over 50 people, 100 people, 200 people, up 300 something they ran over. It was 100, whatever killed. And they say, oh, the Frenchman ran them over. The German man ran them over. Yes, the German. Under that political correctness, if I went to China, got in a delivery truck, ran over a couple hundred people, including children, and imagine they'd say on the news, a Chinese man it'd be a crazy American, came over to China, stole a delivery truck, and ran over a couple hundred people. It'd be a big novelty. It'd be a big story. You know, like when you get two weird, mentally ill Christians, and they've got dozens of children, some 23 years old, living in feces, and it's Christians, homeschoolers. You're all guilty. Well, if Christians are all guilty, then we should at least know if it's an illegal alien or a Muslim, shouldn't we? But no, we're going to beat it over your head. So here it is. Without even looking today, there's just stacks of this crud. Paris massacre terrorist complains about Islamophobia, claims Muslims are mistreated. Paul Joseph Watson, Infowars.com. Somewhere, someone is playing the world's smallest violin. Paris massacre terrorist Salah Abdeslam, the man who helped jihadists butcher hundreds of people, is now complaining about Islamophobia. He's on trial for the shootout he and Belgian police officers had after the November 13th, 2015 attack. He is not expected to stand trial for his role in the Paris massacre, including 130 people who were killed and 368 that were injured in the Islamic attack, just like Vegas. The Belgian-born French national Moroccan descent is accused of driving the terrorists to their target locations and helping them manufacture explosives. The 28-year-old said Muslims were judged and treated in the worst ways mercilessly, and said he was placing his trust in Allah before the judge, and he went on into Islamophobia and the rest of it. So there you get it. Hey, I only helped kill 130-something people and injured 368. But you know what? You deserve it because you didn't kiss my ass good enough. And let me tell you something, that's all they do in Europe is just run around worshiping hordes of military-age men. I got another article here today. Britain is the destination for Islamists from all over the world because it has the highest welfare, the most open arms, and lets them have radical imams calling for the overthrow of England. And there's quotes. And now British schools are saying we just may make all the kids wear burqas. Isn't that just darling? Here's another one. More than 5 million third world migrants entered Europe since 2011. Yeah, it's 10 million total. And it goes on, Voice of America, it's from, people say I'm Russian controlled, sometimes I link to Russian articles. Where's Voice of America we link to? It must be run by the CIA. The latest figures from the European Asylum Office reveal the period between 2011 and 2017, 5,136,000 plus migrants have entered Europe. They're almost all men. Here's another one. German politicians alarmed at the scale of anti-Christian hate attacks. Attacks on churches and Christian symbols accounted for a quarter of the 97 documented cases, and attacks on Christians have doubled worldwide, even according to the UN, in the last 3 years. Meanwhile, UK-based imam performs Islamic exorcism on screaming burqa-clad woman, spits on her, and smashes a table on her head. And then there's this footage. Of Women's Fight Club that they put all over the British news like it's a great thing, and it's a bunch of women screaming like toddlers and rolling around, basically urinating on themselves, and it's advertised as the avant-garde thing to do. They all about how oppressed they are and how hellish it is. It turns out most of them are filthy rich, triple-barreled, people worth hundreds of millions, running around screaming and bitching, and Paul breaks down to the real feminist are worldwide. We'll play that key report straight ahead, then tie it into how similar it is to the Islamic woman wearing a full beekeeper suit with the worst acting I've ever seen, acting like she's possessed.
I'm not saying you can't have real possessed people. I've seen it. It looks like Linda Blair. This lady ain't it. We'll be back. Stay with us. Melatonin's on average $19, $19.95 a bottle. And a lot of it's not even organic type. I've talked to the big organic producer companies that we have make it, and I said, how much money is really in that? They said on average about maybe $1 of melatonin, and then the container costs 50 cents or so, or less. And I said, so I can put the same amount of melatonin in, just make it a bigger capsule that's powdered so you actually absorb it, and then add L-tryptophan, valerian root, lemon balm, chamomile, and then you get a sleep. Unlike other systems, Randall Wilhite, his name is on the Texas Family Code, the last 4 or 5 issues. He writes the Texas Law of the Family Code. He's one of the top family law lawyers in the country. The point is, he's a smart guy. Doesn't smoke marijuana, doesn't drink anything. He goes, man, I got to really thank you. I am sleeping 8 hours through the night. I only have to take one knockout. I've gone and showed, UT Science, this and everything else. This is insane. I said, yeah, you look 10 years younger. He said, oh, yeah, it's just, I'm off all the sleep drugs. He said, this is totally free. He goes, do you know what it is in there? And I said, it's the synergy of it, of the chamomile, the lemon balm, the L-tryptophan, the valerian root, the melatonin, and several other ingredients. All just moderate dose. They're all the recommended dose, and they just fuse together. And whatever they do chemically in the brain that Mother Nature, God gave us from Mother Nature, is incredible. So that's available at InfoWarsStore.com or 888-253-3139. But thank you for committing to get the great products, the books, the films, the T-shirts, you name it. Because it takes selling a lot of stuff to be able to fund this. We're not like raiding countries like George Soros and stealing billions and then, funding race war. It's just selling T-shirts, selling books, selling films, and, just hustling to be able to get high-quality products out. So you have a great response and reorder. It's called Reap What You Sow.
Maximize your potential and take your body back with Super Male Vitality. We're breaking the conditioning and fighting back against the globalist war on male vitality. Our ultimate non-GMO formula is sourced from powerful organic herbs that have been gathered from around the world and then concentrated for maximum potency. Super Male Vitality was developed to activate your body's natural processes instead of using synthetic chemicals. Infowars Life wants to bring you the highest quality products. Our unique combination of ingredients is designed to assist the body in regulating proper balance and creating superior vitality in males. Support your body and mind and take yourself to the next level. Boost your vitality and energize your life. Take control of your body. Grab a bottle of Super Male Vitality today at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com.
Clean, pure drinking water. You can't survive without it. But where do you get it? Alexa Pure Pro is a brand new, groundbreaking, gravity-fed water filtration system that is like no other. The Alexa Pure Pro transforms water from virtually any fresh source into clean, healthy drinking water, pairing the unprecedented super filtration power of an all-new gravity block core with a hybrid chromatic shell. It removes up to 99.999% of impurities, including bacteria, viruses, fluoride, disinfectants, volatile organic contaminants, and hormones. Filter capacity up to 5,000 gallons. Stainless steel construction. Easy assembly, low maintenance, replacement filters are simple to install. And now, as part of an exclusive limited time introductory offer, you can save $20 off the retail price and get free shipping. This is a limited time offer, so order your unit today and receive free shipping and $20 off. Go to InfoWarsStore.com or call 888-253-3139.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show.
He's going the distance. He's going for speed. She's all alone in a time of need. Because he's racing and pacing and plotting a course. He's fighting and fighting and riding on his horse. He's going the distance.
Crashing through the lies and disinformation. It's Alex Jones.
الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا
television. This is broadcast in England. This is very popular. In his little military outfit, with his mind control slave, this woman who has full hoods over her head where you can't even see her eyes. And then he screams at her and spits on her and hits her. And it goes on and on. We'll come back to him spitting on her and hitting her in a moment. But this is the total fruitcake lunacy that is dominant Islam. And you can argue there's been periods in Islam where it was not like this in many areas and was actually quite productive. There were some golden eras. No, this is Orthodox Islam, and they argue that this is their Reformation. Because Christianity had some issues the way it was being played out and used in the Dark Ages to suppress people, so we had a bunch of wars and other things in Europe that killed millions, and that then led to the Reformation. And there were other big wars to exterminate Protestants, and then Protestants would kill Catholics, and on and on and on, to what we have is the Reformed Christian church today that you could argue is a lot more like what Jesus Christ taught. A lot of it's sold out in establishment as well. But if you go back to the Dark Ages, if they caught you gathering herbs because it would make your child not die of the bubonic plague, they would burn you at the stake. Because a man or a woman wasn't supposed to know any knowledge. Only the people in the castle. And that's what Islam has turned into, is a total suppression system. And it needs a reformation. And it oppresses its main target, other Muslims, which then governments bring in by the millions and let the Muslims sit on top of as political blocs that will vote 100% as they're told by their imams. That's why the authoritarian left love them so much. And I was covering some of this earlier, but Paris massacre terrorist who helped reportedly kill over 130 people and injured 368 says he's upset about Islamophobia and Muslims being mistreated. And then it continues here. More than 5 million third world immigrants entered Europe since 2011, almost all Muslims. German politicians alarmed at the scale of anti-Christian hate attacks. And what I just mentioned from Breitbart, UK-based imam performs Islamic exorcism on screaming burqa-clad woman in Sheffield Mosque. And I saw this. Paul Watson, by the way, is from Sheffield. In North England. He lives in London now, and it made me think of Paul's video yesterday that shows what they call Women's Fight Club. The video is a must-see if you're a radio listener. It's posted at Real Alex Jones on Twitter and Prison Planet, Paul Watson's Twitter, and of course, newswars.com and Infowars.com. And I thought that we would just preface that and then go to the video itself, because the temper tantrum screeching is much like the bizarre mental illness theatrical display we're seeing from the poor woman that you can bet your bottom dollar has had her genitals cut off. And so Paul, in this important video, breaks down what's really happening here. He breaks down what the real threats are here. And you get around these modern feminist women, they are basket cases who all come from wealthy families, pretty much, who are trying to one-up each other on who can be more bizarre, more crazy. And it's all about not having males around. And so it all has an extreme anti-male, anti-family bent, which by the way, I have stacks of news articles here today from mainstream news documenting everything I've told you so far. Gender-bending chemicals found in plastic linked to breast and prostate cancer, found in 86% of teenagers' bodies, Daily Mail. Not just a boy and girl, some teens identify as transgender. No children because of climate change. Some people are considering it. New York Times. See? That's the agenda. They're now admitting exactly what I told you. But here's Paul Watson's special report. We'll go to break after that and come back.
This is a space where we can recognize that we're angry. The Conservative government. We want to bring down the patriarchy.
So the first rule of Feminist Fight Club is talk about Feminist Fight Club. I mean, isn't it awful how all these bigots, feminists as being fat, angry, ugly misfits. God only knows where they get that idea from.
Before the fight, I always think about how angry I am. I think about the man that catcalled me on the street.
I'm sure you get catcalled all the time, love.
My name is Phoebe Beatty Ferguson, and I founded Femfera. We fight each other as a mode of resistance to try and channel our energies and our rage.
So you've got a triple-barreled name and you go to a prestigious London university. Yeah, you don't sound very oppressed to me. You sound like another privileged, entitled, inherited wealth snowflake. Let me do a little mansplaining about real feminism. Real feminism is risking arrest and torture for removing your hijab in public. Real feminism is marching in the streets against a theocratic tyranny. Real feminism is strapping on a machine gun to kick some ISIS ass. You, rolling around in a basement in your sweaty underpants while screaming incoherently, that's not real feminism.
When you feel like empowered by the numbers, actually, like, yeah, it feels like you can go out and smash them or something.
Now, like, forgive me for being, like, frank, but, like, the only thing you should be smashing is the Weight Watchers weekly meal plan.
I have experienced, like, moments of a lot of, like, suppression and repression. Or not moments, but, like, a lifetime of that, actually.
That they have been oppressed and are very oppressed.
Really? A lifetime of oppression? You? Really, you? With your plummy accent and your leisure time spent painting your face while rolling around in a cellar in some upper-middle-class hipster enclave, let me do a little mansplaining about real oppression. Real oppression is having your genitals mutilated to fulfill the dictates of a backwards belief system. Real oppression is being subjected to constant death threats for trying to renounce a religion that kills people who try to leave it, and overcoming all this to escape a ghetto in Somalia to become one of the most influential women on the planet. That's real oppression. You being triggered by a Sargon of Akkad video, that's not real oppression.
It's difficult to be, like, sexy in specific spaces without being sexualized.
Yeah, preventing it from becoming sexualized may have been made more difficult by the fact that someone's drawn a giant on the wall. Now, I'm no fan of Theresa May, but if she wants to get re-elected, this should be going in her campaign ad. So you want to fight the patriarchy by removing Britain's first female prime minister in 2 decades and replacing her with a man from a party that in its entire history of existence has never had a female leader. A party that organises political meetings where women are segregated to appease an actual patriarchal belief system. That's how you're going to bring down the patriarchy. Somewhere in there we hear a muddled argument about drawing attention to domestic violence, even though every study shows that lesbians are statistically far more likely to be violent than heterosexual couples. Not that I'm saying any of them are lesbians. I mean, is it any wonder that just 7% of people in the UK identify as feminists, when even members of Vice's hardcore audience is saying it's cringy? Chances are it's cringy. How do you think the vast majority of young women are going to react when they watch this? If you really want to bring down the patriarchy, why aren't you encouraging women to get STEM degrees? If you really want to end the oppression of women, why don't you draw attention to countries in the world where women are actually being oppressed? Theresa May and the Tories aren't stoning women to death for violating Sharia law. Theresa May and the Tories aren't passing laws that legalise marital rape. Theresa May and the Tories aren't instructing police to round up women if their headscarf slips.
She broke Islamic dress code.
We live in a world where Brit girls are being eliminated, and this is what the...
I want to apologize to listeners. I lied to you when I told you Trump would win the election, and he did. I lied to you when I told you that they're admitting that fluoride's causing brain damage, and it turned out I was right. I lied to you about a global government existing that was trying to take control of our country, which they now admit is true.
Is this global governance at last? Is it one world, the central bankers in charge?
I guess, actually, I didn't lie to you. And I'm on air every day fighting the globalists as they try to shut down free speech in America, as they try to derail our recovery, as they try to fold us into their world government, open up our borders, hand us over to the Islamic Caliphate. But I'll tell you this, when I'm on air, I wear a sports jacket and a nice shirt because I respect the fact that you're tuning in and watching and listening to what I have to say. That we're involved in very, very important activities. And that's why I want to reach out to you right now and explain something that's so critical. And that if you grasp it, we'll be able to literally turn the tide even faster against the globalists. And it's just this. I'm not always wearing this, ladies and gentlemen. I dress like this
to politically get messages out to folks that aren't awake, to spur debates, but to also meet like-minded people who are out there feeling like they're alone and don't know how many of us there are. It's like Martin Luther King said, it's all of us of one human race who all have incredible skills and gifts that God gave us that we bring together in the human family to do incredible things. A few months ago, I saw media demonizing folks that put up signs at universities that said, all lives matter. Then they demonized people that said, it's okay to be white. These are universities where they're saying it's inherently evil and an abomination and satanic to be white. Right outside Austin, Texas. Texas State University says that. Most major universities are directing this to create racial division in this country, and it's sickening. That's why I have designed with our crew several new limited edition t-shirts that expose this evil and fight true institutional, leftist-based racial division and classical race war designs. Yeah, if you're just talking about how you're white or how you're black, it's okay. That's fine to be proud of yourself. But isn't it really great to realize we all got red blood? That's why the shirt is in red. Out here in space together, the dark blue of the night sky, that all of our red blood together ties us together. And that's what makes us great. The globalists are creating a fake debate to turn us against each other. Let's come together and say all lives matter. The fact is, it's not just okay, it's great to be human. Let me show you a few of the other designs we've got. They're available at InfoWarsStore.com. They help spread the word, and they help support the broadcast. A total win-win. This shirt is white. Whoa! And you've got major universities, major publications like BuzzFeed saying it's milk racist because it's white. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's a white shirt that says it's okay to be white, okay to be black, okay to be brown, but it's great to be human. Now, here's a really racist shirt that Martin Luther King would agree with, but that the modern leftists would absolutely hate. It says all lives matter, and it exposes the institutional racism the left and Soros are bringing in to literally take minorities and turn them into the equivalent of brown Ku Klux Klan. This shirt is amazing, it's iconic, and it's limited edition. They're all available at InfoWarsStore.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. And despite the fact that all these shirts are super high quality and are destined to be bestsellers, through Christmas, we're offering 25% off at InfoWarsStore.com on these limited edition shirts.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show. The answer to 1984 is 1776. You're listening to The Alex Jones Show.
It's breaking on Infowars.com, just went up. Lawyers for General Mike Flynn to call for case to be dismissed over corruption at the FBI. It's known as poison of the poisonous tree and fruit of the poisonous tree, because the whole thing was a fraud. It was political. It's admitted. They lied to the FISA court. They lied to Congress. The whole thing is coming crashing down, and they bet everything on it. The plan was, and they've stated this in their own establishment publications, Atlantic Monthly, New Yorker Magazine, New York Daily News, you name it. Financial Times of London, the Rothschild-owned Economist. They said, we're going to prove that the election was run by Russians. We're not just going to say that the president stole the election and that election will be reheld, but this time overseen by a special group that Obama put into Homeland Security with an executive order. We're going to unseat everybody in Congress, every Republican that won. There'll be a new election on that front. And then they said, we're also going to then target Americans that are known to be promoting Russian propaganda. And you've seen through the year since Trump won the election, the year and 4 months, that they now sent out letters last week to 600+ thousand people saying, you work for Russians, you're a Russian bot. People got lawyers, they got folks to look at their accounts. Twitter had to say, actually, none of them are Russians. It was real stuff. But it didn't stop Adam Schiff from sending out letters to Congress and letters
goes to Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and Google saying all of this is Russian bots. Don't let anybody criticize the committee. This was just 2 weeks ago. Don't let anybody criticize the chairman on the Democrat side. The chairman's Nunes, but the Democratic leader. Or we'll say you're a Russian agent. There it is. Dianne Feinstein and Adam Schiff claim Russian bots and trolls are behind hashtag release the memo. And so 600 and something thousand of you that put that out, you are now suspects too. And I thought about the clips I played over the weekend. Maybe I should dig those up and play them again. Where they got a congressman on accusing Tucker Carlson again of being a Russian agent. In fact, cue that up if you can. It's the last minute. So here is the Democrat congressman of attaché, protege of Nancy Pelosi. Here is Nancy Boy on there, and understandably, Tucker Carlson doesn't usually, act like he gets mad. If he gets mad, it's real. And, you're getting called a Russian agent for 6 minutes before he's saying you're hurting America, releasing this memo undermines things. And then we have video coming up after it of Schiff on RT 3 years ago saying we need to make the whole FISA thing transparent and it doesn't need to be political. So a complete turnabout. So that's coming up next. But here is a congressman. Again, they've told Rand Paul he's a Russian agent. They've said I'm a Russian agent. Never any proof. Here it is.
All Americans, including my children, less safe.
You continue to support the idea that we should give suspects in criminal cases the evidence against them before we ask them any questions.
Well,
you also believe that there's nothing
I don't support that. I do think we should give them the benefit of the doubt, as the Constitution requires us to. Call me a liberal. When have I said that I think that we should give evidence to? I'm not even sure what that means. By the way, I think people charged in a criminal case have the right to the evidence against them, don't they?
Do you think?
Wait, are you aware of that?
Not when they're being questioned, Tucker. Yeah, Tucker. Not when they're being questioned. Not when they're under suspicion. Do you think it's a problem?
Pause again. They set up a special counsel by Rosenstein, who set up the group with McCabe and with Comey. It's all documented now to go after the nominee, then president-elect after that. They're the ones that are under suspicion, but they open this blanket thing up that includes Tucker Carlson and Senator Rand Paul and Alex Jones and the president and his whole family, and now 600,000+ Twitter users. You're all under surveillance. You're all suspect. You're all being watched for the hashtags you put out. You're all under suspicion for working for Vladimir Putin when it's Hillary up to her eyeballs in it. And then now these criminal cases are going, and there's no evidence there. There's no Russian collusion, so they just expand the dragnet, wanting to overthrow the country, wanting to still have this coup d'etat by special counsel. That's what it is. It's a rogue Clinton FBI special counsel coup that's politically been caught, engaged in fraud, in leaking, in perjury, in absconding, and Schiff trying to block the release of all this stuff. It's criminal like nothing I've ever seen, so ridiculous, so naked, so brazen, and this little smart-mouth, arrogant person, they practice acting arrogant. They practice fake it till you make it. You know these people, they're the worst. Representative Swalwell is jeopardizing national security, says Tucker's jeopardizing it. When that isn't enough to bully him, why, you're a Russian agent. Let's go back to it.
Evidence in the Russia investigation. Do you think it's a problem that they were sent evidence in the Russia investigation when they are subjects of the investigation?
Pause again. Yeah, the former head of the NSA, still head of the NSA at the time, Admiral Rogers, went to the president-elect and said, sir, they did this illegally. And FISA wrote a 99-page, the court said it was illegal. They put a memo out about what you guys did. Absolutely it's good when criminal activity is going on by a rogue group in the FBI and the Justice Department to go to the president and show him. Absolutely. See, we're fighting back. You're not used to that, are you? Let's go back to it.
Like there?
What in the no?
Donald Trump and
maybe
Don,
I would.
Don
In the case of today's memo, what specifically have I espoused that empowers threats to our country.
You're peddling the narrative that the Trump administration is putting out, which also is the Putin narrative, because they're retweeting this with their Russian bots. If you're on the same side as WikiLeaks and Putin,
I wonder, do you perceive
if you're on the same side as WikiLeaks and Putin, you should take a step back and wonder, whose bidding are you really doing?
I don't even know what to say. I don't want to explode on TV, so I'm just going to end the segment now. Let the record reflect.
I'll see you next week.
Working for a hostile foreign government. We'll be back soon.
And the reason Tucker's so mad is he knows that sack of garbage knows none of that's true. He's not just imputing your honor. He's part of the evil group that actually works for the Russians, or had been paid off by them, the Chinese and others. Now, they put out a CIA report, Democrats did, that in it mentioned that I'd been on RT before. So that meant I was a Russian agent. That's their proof. Well, Schiff's gone on there a whole bunch. This is from Schiff a few years ago on there, saying he's got problems with lack of transparency at the FISA court. Now he's saying the exact opposite. The article's on Infowars.com. Here's the video.
Meanwhile, on the other side of Capitol Hill, in the House of Representatives, efforts continue there as well to inject more oversight into the NSA's surveillance programs and the top-secret FISA court. One of those members of Congress leading the effort is Adam Schiff from California. He joined me earlier, and I asked him how his reforms to the FISA court will protect America's First and Fourth Amendment rights.
Well, I think they'll have the cumulative impact of making the FISA court much more transparent, so the American people can understand what's being done in their name, in the name of national security, so that we can have a more informed debate over the balance between privacy and security. I think this can be accomplished while also maintaining sources and methods and not compromising some of the very real national security concerns at stake. It also will mean, in terms of the appointment of FISA judges, a more diverse set of judges than those that were chosen by the Chief Justice alone.
Yeah, that means Obama people got put in.
Process of Senate confirmation.
That's good. So that's him going in and actually having Obama take over the FISA court, but saying it's for transparency and openness and to release stuff. Now he says don't release anything or you're a Russian agent. So there you go. Just briefly, when you financially support us, it makes it all possible. Thank you for your support. Books, videos, T-shirts, documentary films, thousands of great items, InfoWarsStore.com. We have to end this special. What it is DNA Force Plus, but I'm calling it Cell Force, but I think I'm going to go back to the name DNA Force Plus. We had a contractual issue, but now we're authorized to use that name, but it's more the BioPQQ, more the CoQ10, more of all of it, a lot more of it, at a much lower price. So this is an amazing, known for, again, helping the telomeres not shrink as fast, helping detoxify the cells. There's nothing like it. You and your family deserve it. It helps support the broadcast. Cell Force, 53% off right now. Pollen Block's about to sell out. 50% off. People love that. We have the new shirt of the month. It's a limited edition. Trump Pence 2020. It says a perfect vision for America with a white American flag on the right shoulder and Infowars on the back. That is limited edition. Sign up for that. Get 20% off. Get a new shirt every month. Cancel anytime. InfoWarsStore.com or 888-253-3139. And a lot of other specials are about to end as well. Second hour, only minutes away. The fight against the globalist accelerates to victory speed. This is the best deal we've ever offered on our flagship product, DNA Force. And it's got a very interesting story behind it. I was at a medical doctor's clinic facility that had top-of-the-line nutraceuticals and was noticing that they were $200 to $400. And then I talked to my dad about it, who is a physician, and he said, absolutely, this is the biggest area in nutraceuticals and supplements is longevity and keeping your telomeres in place. You can't make telomeres grow. You can just make them not shrink as fast. Well, I designed DNA Force with Dr. Groot. And Dr. Group's a great guy, but then we were going to come out with Cell Force because I was able to find just as good of the same compounds for a lower price and was able to develop Cell Force. And Group liked the formula so much, he said, listen, we were going to come out with DNA Force Plus. You just use that name and do it because this is such an incredible formula. And I understand you're going to one of the biggest labs in the country, and so you were able to scale up at a lower price, and I want to do that. He was so classy, he just said, you just put out DNA Force Plus as Cell Force, or vice versa. I was partnering with him on that. That's how classy he is. So Cell Force is a limited run. When it's gone, it's gone. It will be called DNA Force Plus because it's stronger than the old DNA Force, and it is less money. So it's a good deal normally at $149, like DNA Force was, and we sell it for $99 on sale. We're selling it for $70.45. Used to, that's almost what it cost to make a bottle of DNA Force. Well, now we've lowered the price on the ingredients by buying even more, just as high qualities. We're lowering it for you. This is the best deal ever on DNA Force. It's DNA Force Plus, but called Cell Force, because we weren't going to step on Grip's toes. We just put out Cell Force separately with a similar name to DNA Force. And it's even stronger and a lower price, super high quality, promotes cellular energy production, supports optimal mental health, and so much more. And it supports the Infowar. Get the best deal ever at InfoWarsStore.com.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance. Live from the Infowars.com studios, it's Alex Jones.
How many times must I tell you, baby? How many bridges I've got to cross?
We are back live broadcasting worldwide. We have a very special guest joining us in the third hour. That is a national television host, but also a political scientist, well, a leading political scientist in Russia, to give you the Russian response to what's going on in the world. And the accelerated move towards war with Russia, one of the only failings of the Trump administration, but one that if it goes wrong could end life on this planet. So that should be extremely informative. I also intend to open the phones up and get your take on the Super Bowl behavior, on the illegal alien reportedly killing the Colts Edwin Jackson, and the media tried to cover it up. On gender-bending chemicals found in plastics linked to breast and prostate cancer are found in 86% of teenager bodies at high levels. Ooh, mainstream media reporting that. But first, let's go to this report. MSM gaslights America.
Regardless of what the Mockingbird media may have told you about the Nunes memo details, that media continues to desperately gaslight America into looking the other way.
All right. Do you feel like you know more or less about the safety of Robert Mueller's job?
I feel as confused as I think most Americans do right now. I think it feels a little bit like, when you're in the supermarket and there's Muzak in the background. It's there. It's a constant noise, but you can't quite make out the song.
Yeah, it's called
exactly.
Hashtag release the memo was way more important than the actual memo. When I was reading that memo, I thought, okay, what was the big news here? What exactly am I reading?
We have seen the blowing of a lot of smoke this week. The smoke will dissipate. I mean, Mueller is going to continue with his investigation.
The goal here really isn't to find out the answers from the FBI. The goal here is to undermine the FBI, discredit the FBI, discredit the Mueller investigation, do the president's bidding.
But I don't really understand how any of this is important, so I'm just going to treat this memo like every other memo I've received at work and completely ignore it.
The president of the White House think that by saying we support the masses of the FBI, but we oppose in its strong language. The president's talking about basically corruption at the FBI today, but we oppose the leadership. The workforce is going to look at this and say, this is an attack on our ability to conduct an investigation with integrity. There's hundreds of agents and analysts working on this investigation. It's not just Christopher Wray, the FBI director. So the FBI people, I'm going to tell you, are ticked. And they're going to be saying, I guarantee it, you think you can push us off this because you can try to intimidate the director? You better think again, Mr. President. You've been around for 13 months. We've been around since 1908. I know how this game is going to be played. We're going to win.
The memo has no impact on the Russia probe.
Not to me, it doesn't, and I was pretty integrally involved in the drafting of it.
Rosenstein or McCabe, those are the names that will be burning your ears as the truth is gradually ripped away from the spin. Rod Rosenstein gave the Steele dossier the DOJ seal of approval by signing off on at least one FISA application to surveil Carter Page. The Daily Caller reports Bruce Orr's wife was employed by Fusion GPS to assist in the cultivation of opposition research on Trump. or later provided the FBI with all of his wife's opposition research paid for by the DNC and Clinton campaign via Fusion GPS. The Orr's relationship with Steele and Fusion GPS was inexplicably concealed from the court when it was used to obtain a surveillance warrant. And Andrew McCabe, after stepping down as deputy director of the FBI, is now being held accountable by the FISA memo claiming that McCabe had knowledge that no surveillance warrant would have been sought from the FISC without the Steele dossier information. Although still secretive testimony by McCabe may refute this claim, regardless, McCabe was knee-deep in anti-Trump territory. Now the facts are laid bare. What to do with a cabal taking on the most powerful office in the land? All due to hubris-riddled, power-mad-driven, pure partisanship. John Bound reporting for Infowars.com.
You know, Frank in North Carolina, thanks for holding so long. Go ahead.
Yeah, Alec, I just have to say something, man. It seems like every time I turn on your broadcast, you're bragging. It just gets old, man.
I'm going to shut you down right now, okay? We're taking calls about your nomination. Do you understand they're having congressional hearings trying to shut us down? Do you understand I'm ringing the alarm? If that was happening to anybody else, I'd be freaked out. I mean, what's it going to take? Us being shut down? Is that what you want, Frank?
You know what, Alex?
Hey, put him on pause again. Hey, Frank, do you understand it's not bragging to say we are the tip of the spear, we're under attack, we need your help? As much begging as I do, we can barely pay the bills and grow in the face of this. I'm not going to just stop growth and let them start pushing us backwards. You understand? I need your help, Frank. I need your help, Frank.
Go to InfoWarsStore.com right now and help fund the Infowars.
Do you understand? I need your help, Frank. Free press needs your help, Frank.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want to stop tyranny? Well, so does he. Live from the Infowars.com studios, it's Alex Jones.
They say that imitation is the most sincere form of flattery. And when I imitate someone, I do it because I think they've done a great job, and I think that they've been very thought-provoking. And you have to understand, usually they're also imitating somebody else and then improving on it. So a lot of times the crew, they'll say, well, college reform already did that, where they went out and read Trump's tax reform plan but said it was Bernie Sanders. And then 99% of people said, oh, it's a wonderful, wonderful plan when they thought it was Bernie Sanders, but really it's Trump. Just to show how they're dumbed down, they're biased, they're not informed, they don't know what's going on. And whether it's California, or whether it's New York, or whether it's areas like the University of Texas, we don't go down there to show that they're stupid to get off on. We do it because it's frightening. And you go to a conservative or libertarian era, you go to their areas, half the people will actually catch on to what you're doing and be aware. The other half will say, hey, I'm too busy right now. Get that camera out of my face. Or give me more information. What group are you with? Now, exactly, again, they're just canning. They know what's going on. But you go talk to liberal areas, and it's like they've been hit between the eyes with a sledgehammer. By the way, guys, I don't know if I asked you to do this. It's audio. He was on a radio show. You guys get this Kimmel Says Libs, Excel at Late Night post because of job requires intelligence, and we ought to play some clips of the random people at Democratic Party rallies. I mean, they really make you want to cry how stupid and how brainwashed they are. But getting back to this, college reform goes out. Every week it shows this. They'll go out and say the Bernie Sanders plan, but really it's the Trump plan, or they'll go out and say, hey, we've got State of the Union quotes from Trump. And then they say they hate it because it's Trump, but then he tells them, no, that's actually Barack Obama. Trump could be handing out $3,000 bills. They wouldn't want it. It's like Mark Dice goes out. We've done it too. We try to hand people free gold coins, and they won't take it. Here's a $1,000 gold coin. I'm going to give it to you. No, I don't want that. At first, they'll start out, I'll give me $5. I'll give you this $1,000 1-ounce gold coin, or whatever it is at that time's cost. They just shake their head because they're so ignorant. They don't know how to even look at a coin and see if it's real, or, whoa, that's heavy. They don't know how to bite it. They don't know. They just think you're trying to give them a flying saucer or something. And that's really it. They're domesticated. The one thing you need to know about so-called modern leftists is they're not real classical liberals. They're super followers. They're super scared. They're super sheltered. They're unhealthy. And they're dumb. But they are crazed and want to run your life. They're like a pack of dangerous lemmings. So I'm going to get into Kimball coming up in the next segment. But right now, I wanted to play College Reform, and I'm going to have one of the crew, whether it's Millie, Owen, whoever wants to go, just go back down to UT or go back down to South Congress and just sit there and, say, listen to horrible, Trump State of the Union, and then give them Obama quotes, and just like where College Reform did this, or they did this in New York, it'll be exactly the same. And you're like, what happened to these people? But the big story isn't just that when they hear it's Trump, they hate it even though it's Obama. Trump means it when he says these positive things about America and is doing. Trump's surrogates go out and promote what Trump said in the State of the Union. Obama would say a lot of good stuff because he's the good cop. And then his surrogates go out and say America's inherently evil, America's inherently bad, America's the worst thing ever, since gonorrhea or since cancer. Your kids don't belong to you, Christianity's bad, veterans are bad, police are all bad. Demoralization. You can't have your churches. They said that at the State of the Union last week. You see, his surrogates do one thing, and then he comes out and says another until he is talking to Democrats. He's like, we'll get these bitter clangers their guns and their Bibles. We're going to get them domesticated and break these families up. And we're going to make sure they don't have cars or air conditioning. And by the way, if they think they built their businesses. They didn't build their businesses. Or the WikiLeaks, Hillary, these damn baristas, man, these people, I hate my scum followers. They're all a bunch of slugs. But I guess we made them that way. And the top professor who's advising her goes, ma'am, we just need to intensify. They're not listening to our message, but at least we can cause culture war. She's like, yes, send me a file on that. And culture war is black on white. And now we have their memos doing it. And you turn on MSNBC or CNN, I mean, that's like science fiction or something, how you cause a race war. I mean, you tune into it, and it's so evil, it's so naked, it's so ridiculously obvious, but you got to remember, they got those audiences slowly. Building them up with the BS, titrating the poison until the average person gets bit by a 10-foot king cobra, they roll over and die in 5 minutes. But if you've been building the dose up for 20 years like a snake handler, you get bit, you kind of get high off of it, and maybe your teeth fall out or something, but, you still live. And it's the same thing. These people are like zombies because they bought into all this craziness, and it just gets wackier and wackier. What they're being fed to keep them on the plantation has gotten so crazy that now they're believing all this, so they're like in a virtual reality, totally whacked out, and that's why Brian Stelter and all of them keep saying we're in a virtual reality. Those of us that are countering them, because they know they're there holding the fort with a bubble, a force field of idiocy over what they've got left. Let's go ahead and go to this students hate Trump's State of the Union.
I'm Kyle Phillips with Campus Reform. Today we're at John Jay College getting reactions to President Trump's State of the Union address last night. We're going to give them a few quotes from the speech and ask their reaction. Except the quotes we're giving them are actually from President Obama's State of the Union addresses. What will they have to say? Let's find out. So I have a few quotes here from the State of the Union. I want to get your feedback. First, talking about ISIS, saying, quote, we need to call them what they are, killers and fanatics who have to be hunted down and destroyed. What's your thought on that?
Well, first off, ISIS is fake.
It's something the government made up so they can continue doing what they want to do, which is world domination.
Donald Trump should, mind his own business and, just focus on America because he's the president
By the way,
of
pause.
the United States, not...
We're going to come back and play the rest of this. Back it up. Some leftists are actually super smart. And that's why I didn't used to call myself a conservative or a liberal, because the liberals had some good issues like decriminalization of drugs, and then the right wing had some good things like pro-Second Amendment, right to life, stuff like that. But I didn't like Republican blue bloods. That guy actually gets that ISIS was made up, but by Hillary and Obama, and Trump said, back that up 10 seconds, please. Trump is the one that said Hillary and Obama created ISIS and turned them loose all over the Middle East, and CNN promoted them as good guys. Remember that? So he's still an anti-Trump guy. They come back to him. But it doesn't matter. Trump and the Russians, that's the only Russian collusion there's been, but it predates Trump, cleaned them out. Russians did like 90% of it. But so the guy gets that right, but it's Obama that did it with his cousin Odinga. Let's continue.
Well, first off, ISIS is fake. It's something the government made up so they can continue doing what they want to do, which is world domination.
Donald Trump should, mind his own business and, just focus on America because he's the president of the United States, not of the whole world.
I feel like that's a very strong statement. And when you say something like that, it kind of makes you, a target.
Or if you're a threat to this country, we're going to get you for that. It's just ridiculous.
Next up, talking about the general world stage, saying, quote, when you come after Americans, we come after you. It may take time, but we have long memories and our reach has no limit. What's your thought on that?
Well, I don't think that's a good way of handling something.
All right.
It's like he doesn't think...
When we come back, the exciting conclusion when they learn it's Obama. But see, that was just his rhetoric versus him resupplying them, giving them the weapons, creating the name, winding it all up, and that's been declassified. Then we'll get into Jimmy Kimmel. He says working Americans who aren't on welfare are stupid. Our latest product, by the way, is Immune Wall. It's very, very affordable. At $29.95, it's 25% off out of the gates. And we set out with beta-glucans, olive leaf, and a bunch of other key compounds that are absolutely documented. We can even make claims about what this does to bolster your immune system and make you healthier, especially if you're going to be traveling or you're under stress or it's in the winter months. This is something everybody should be taking. Wellmune is patented and documented in all the hundreds of studies. Then you got the ancient stuff there as well, the organic olive leaf extract is what the Roman soldiers would take whenever they started getting sick, just chock full of all those key enzymes and vitamin C and so much more. Then it's got all the concentrated, highest quality organic types of mushrooms that are documented for your body, and then concentrated citrus peel, orange peel, lemon peel, organic orange peel. It's all there, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm not going to sit here and hype this product up. So whether it's the sleep aid knockout you need, which is amazing, melatonin's on average $19, $19.95 a bottle, and a lot of it's not even organic type. And I talked to the big organic producer companies that we have make it, and I said, how much is in that? They said on average about maybe $1 of melatonin, and then the container costs 50 cents or so, or less. And I said, so I can put the same amount of melatonin in, just making a bigger capsule that's powdered so you actually absorb it, and then add L-tryptophan, valerian root, lemon balm, chamomile, and several other things. And I checked the scientists. None of them interact badly. They're all from nature. They're all healthy. They all have good, good clean records. And then you get a sleep, unlike other systems. Randall Wilhite, his name is on the Texas Family Code the last 4 or 5 issues. He writes the Texas Law and Family Code. He's one of the top family law lawyers in the country. The point is, he's a smart guy. Doesn't smoke marijuana, doesn't drink. He goes, man, I got to really thank you. I am sleeping 8 hours through the night. I only have to take one knockout. I've gone and showed, UT Science this and everything else. This is insane. Wow, it's incredible. I'd taken melatonin by itself and it didn't help. Wow, this is incredible. And I said, yeah, I don't know. I just had the idea to mix everything known, scientifically and in the wives' tales together to make you sleep. And, it's powerful. And they're all game changers. You need to really go read the third-party reviews, the power reviews, and others that we have linked. Our average review on InfoWarsStore.com, there's more than 40,000 reviews now, is at 94%. They even had media investigations with BuzzFeed and people calling them going, we want to see it, it must be fake. They're like, no, it's really real. So they've had campaigns that people go on there and try to vote stuff down. I mean, they are just so angry where they test our stuff and test it in California labs that has stuff 9 times higher than EU that has the next highest standards. I mean, basically, there's more lead in the air in California than you can, quote, put in a supplement or any other product, unless you call it a food product. What is 60-something of our products are all California standard. But if you've got something that's got, I don't know, 10, 15 ingredients in it, and it's also a large serving like Caveman, yes, ladies and gentlemen, any can of chicken noodle soup has probably 5 times the lead California says is allowed. It's just insane. And then we test and test and test more than anybody we know of because we know we're under a microscope, ladies and gentlemen. But thank you for committing to getting the great products, the books, the films, the t-shirts, you name it. Because it takes selling a lot of stuff to be able to fund this. We're not like, it's just selling t-shirts, selling books, selling films, and, just hustling to be able to get high-quality products out. So you have a great response and reorder. It's called Reap What You Sow. That's available at InfoWarsStore.com or 888-253-3139.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show. Defending the Republic from enemies, foreign and domestic. It's Alex Jones.
So they've taught the modern, domesticated trendioids, I wouldn't even call them liberals. That's how we identify them in the common vernacular, shamanical parlance. They believe they're fighting for their very existence. They believe they're being destroyed by thousands of big companies being incentivized to come back to the U.S. For colleges to actually teach curriculum that gets them a good job. They think having sovereignty and having free markets bad. They believe being victims and being part of endlessly divided, balkanized, atomized, desperate, alone groups controlled by their local factotum, their local potentate. They believe that somehow gives them power. And then they're all taught everyone outside of the bubble is dumb. That's why Google, Twitter, Facebook, Amazon are all building bubble cities. They don't just look like bubbles. Some areas are domed bubbles. But dome cities where it's all connected, hundreds of structures, enclosed parks, you name it, where you're all in a community like yourself. They have a name for it. It's called a cult. So this is the type of dystopia many sociologists and psychologists say is coming. Of course, they're doing it in the Middle East. Not just from the climate, but that's what cults do. So, ladies and gentlemen, we get back to the campus reform video where they hear what Obama said, but they tell them Trump said it, they're against it. But then when they hear that Obama said it, they suddenly like it. Students hate Trump's State of the Union quotes, but they're Obama's. And it's always the same. That's how Mark Dyson go up and say, we're going to put all the Jews in concentration camps for Obama. And almost every person signs the document on the beach in L.A., because if it's for Obama, you got to do it. They'll do anything. And these are people that speak English. We're going to put the gun owners in forced labor camps, and we're going to kill some of them. Okay, yeah, it's a great idea. It's time to take these people out. It's like a well-spoken guy saying this because it's all about their power. And they sit there and they watch these channels. And they really believe we are Nazis out to get them. And then their main patron, their main supplier, their main funder, their main god is a true, actual, bona fide, certified, documented, lettered, admitted, self-confessed, unapologetic, dyed-in-the-wool psychopath who spent hundreds of billions of swindled dollars trying to take over the whole world, crashed more than, 15 economies, bankrupted countless nations. When I grew up, even watching PBS when my mom was cooking dinner, I first heard about Soros as this international criminal in the late 80s trying to crash the British pound. I mean, back then they were on him. He was a guest. He's like, I do not apologize. I'm allowed to do whatever I want. But then by today, it's like, how dare Alex Jones call George Soros a Nazi? He fought the Nazis. You're watching Anderson Cooper. Surprised they don't show him like in a Captain American outfit. Yeah, Soros fought with Captain America and the Hulk, the Incredible Hulk, and of course Hulkamania. He fought with the Hulkster as well. They all fought Hitler. It was actually George Soros that climbed into the bunker with a knife in his teeth and stabbed Hitler when he was 16 years old. He went, "Die, Hitler!" No, he went on 60 Minutes and said, "I am not ashamed of how I survived doing it. I would help round up the Jews, my fellow Jews." His dad wrote a book about it. And then again, they're defending it. They think that's tough. They want a Nazi in there. The average mutated, hunchback, leftist weirdo likes evil. They like dirty things. Their hottest porn is torturing animals. And I mean, you go to what the left's into, man. They're into nihilism. They're not the left. They're a bunch of wimps living on the back of the country in bubbles who then are pissed at everybody else when they peer out from their meth haze from playing 20 hours of video games a day, and they see upright, strong people that are completely crushed by this sick culture, and they think there's the enemy. I'm sorry, let's continue.
He doesn't think before speaking and how it's going to offend a lot of people.
He should be careful because there's other countries out in the world that has like automatic weapons and nuclear bombs.
I mean, he's got small hands, so I don't know about his reach. So and finally talking about China, saying China wants to write the rules. That would put us at a disadvantage. Why should we let that happen? We should write those rules.
I wouldn't mess with China.
He's over the top in general, so it's par for the course.
It's like everything is out the window. Like, China.
I guess the way that he approaches things is very aggressive, and that's not the best way to approach situations.
What if I told you that all three of these quotes were actually from President Obama's State of the Unions?
All right.
Aren't you?
What's your thought? Are you surprised?
Kind of, yeah.
It's actually crazy to hear that.
I think there's a bias against President Trump when it comes to hearing a speech like the State of the Union.
Yeah, I do think there's a bias.
I guess bias is really bad in general. Just because you don't agree with it doesn't mean it's not right.
I am definitely not a huge fan of him. However, I think being closed-minded is probably more dangerous than anything he could do.
Some people are quick to judge on Donald Trump just because a few things he say, but I think if they paid attention to a whole presidency, maybe they'll have a better outlook on him and a better perspective in general.
Because unfortunately, a lot of times what you hear is tainted by bias, and you really can't go off that. So do your own research, educate yourself. It's your duty. It's the future of the country.
That is a smart crowd compared to a lot of them. But when you look at the hidden Veritas camera videos and the others that have come out in the congressional hearings, they sit up there and they go, number one mission, stop Infowars, then stop the president spreading his information. Yes, sir, we were on it at lunch. The heads of the companies, sir, we were on it at lunch, stopping Paul Watson. And then last week there were all these Southern Poverty Law Center and George Soros articles from Media Matters and Right Wing Watch going, look, the last week they've had 3 top Facebook trending, and they've had a bunch of top Twitter, and they're like, yours. Some of the headlines were like, Zuckerberg's been caught again, Twitter's done it again, and these articles have headlines just chewing them out. Maybe try to pull something during the break. It's like, Zuckerberg drops the ball, Zuckerberg's got some explaining to do again. He's openly censoring, having people arrested in Germany that don't go along with the Muslim invasion, working with Pakistan to have people arrested that, say they don't believe in Allah. And, he's bent over to every authoritarian regime there is on the planet. And they're just chewing him out, going, look what you did. And then Facebook's like, we'll ban him quicker. We will. We're sorry. We'll stop him because they don't want me to sit here and play these clips. By the way, if I was Campus Reform, they do a great job, but after they do their interview, I would then actually show the clip of Obama, because he did say those things. Just so you can see it for yourself. All right, we're going to go to break. We have the Kimmel clip. He says, you're dumb, and this is so important, because if you understand this, you understand all the angles to it. Because when they talk about how we're in an echo chamber, they know it's the opposite. And they're desperately trying to keep the very, very sad people that are under their control still on their little plantation. I mean, you heard that one guy say it's BS. Obama, never said we're going to take out ISIS. He likes ISIS. Well, the truth is he does like ISIS. He helped create them. But just these people just don't know what they're talking about, though. We'll be back. Stay with us. We sell products directly to you that they ridicule, they attack, they try to defeat, they try to test, and it blows up in their face. And when you purchase books, t-shirts, videos, you name it, it makes it all possible. But you're going to forget to buy the next time. You need the high-quality supplements we have. And if you'll simply go there and test out the supplements, find out the ones you like, and then sign up for auto-ship, you'll get an additional 10% off. You sign up every 15 days, every 30 days, every 60, every 90. You can order every year you get sent something. And if you'll just commit to get great products at low prices with us and shop with the good guys, it sets off a chain reaction. Now, we have introducing the new special, the Infowars Life Mind and Body Combo Pack, 40% off for a limited time at InfoWarsStore.com. The best-selling Brain Force Plus Vitamin Mineral Fusion that's so great for yourself with the amino acids and all the vitamins and minerals. Great fruit punch for you, your children. Way more absorbable. It's all there, InfoWarsStore.com. And 50% off out of the gate, Body Ease, the ultimate turmeric formula that people are really responding to. I found out they've got big publications going around trying to find people to lie and say that I don't believe what I say and that I don't like my audience. What? Again, don't believe what I say. We're building what we've talked about. We're turning it around. We're doing it. That's the proof of believing something. I'm 110% committed to this, and you know it. And when you fund us, they can't stop us. We're starting to see the orders rolling in. People saying they're listening and watching on TV stations. So praise God, the cavalry's coming over the ridge here. And so for all the censorship online and the stuff they've done trying to destroy us, they're not suppressing the signal thanks to you out there. I want to thank God. I want to thank my family. I want to thank this crew. I want to thank the audience. Again, InfoWarsStore.com, InfoWarsLife.com, or 888-253-3139. It's critical to support independent media operations that aren't these internet ghettos like Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, like Infowars.com, and to spread the articles, the videos. And it's more critical than ever, too, to wear T-shirts out in public. Depending on how extreme you want to get, wear an Infowars.com shirt. You're going to be loved. You're going to get dinner bought for you. You're going to meet maybe your future spouse 90% of the time. 10% of the time, you may get hot coffee thrown on you and somebody trying to physically attack you. Or wear something like Don't Tread on Me, that is a symbol that other patriots recognize, so you can wear your colors publicly and meet like-minded people. That's what flags are about. That's what symbols are about. Now, I had an idea, because growing up, I loved Book of the Month Club and Comic Book of the Month Club, or Model of the Month Club, where a model would come, of a B-17 or a truck or whatever, and I'd glue it together and paint it and everything. We have a shirt of the month that will be a collector's edition, high-quality shirt that is only available for that month. But these shirts just came in a few days ago. It's a red version of our best-selling yellow version, Won't Tread on Me, with the American flag at Infowars.com. This red version will only be available for the next 25 days or so. So we just got them in a few days ago, and then that's it. And you get 25% off when you order it at InfoWarsStore.com in the shirt of the month. You sign up in that, in the auto ship function, can cancel anytime. It's totally free. And then you get the next shirt every month. You can give it as a gift. You can change the size. And you'll have a wardrobe of Patriot apparel for every occasion. So it's available right now on InfoWarsStore.com or 888-253-3139. So again, thank you all for checking out InfoWarsStore.com. You built InfoWars, and we're going to the next level thanks to you.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show. Big Brother. Mainstream media. Government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. Live from Austin, Texas, broadcasting worldwide, it's Alex Jones.
Alex Jones, your host. Infowars.com and newswars.com as well as prisonplanet.com are our main sites. Thank you so much. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and get to some news clips here. And then later, I'm going to get into Jimmy Kimmel because I'm not quite ready to get into that yet. I was working on another story during the break. Got here a minute late, and that just spoiling my mojo. I think I'm doing too much during these breaks. I think I'm going to have to stop doing work during the breaks. I try to multitask around here, and I figured out that's what's frustrating me. That's what's derailing me. And I'm not going to do it anymore. If I don't have the info on something, I'm not going to wait a minute to do it once I get on air. I'm just psychoanalyzing what sets me off and then ruins my day. You know, most talk show hosts, they sit there and they practice what they're going to do. They script everything. They have a bunch of guests, a bunch of clips, a bunch of news, and you're not really hearing who they are. You're hearing what I really think and what's going on here on this broadcast. There's nobody telling me what to say or what to do. The problem is that has its own downside because I have probably 50 articles that I actually looked at or read, a couple hundred more that I haven't even gotten to. They're all incredibly important. And I tend to get caught up obsessing over how weird and brainwashed the left is instead of just moving on and exposing the big issues and what the globalists are doing and kind of just get up above the clouds from, you know, down there in their false reality and really get up there in the halls of Elysium where the globalists see themselves operating politically as a breakaway civilization completely separate from what they're up to and what they're doing. So that's coming up. But I will get into Kimmel because we have the audio now of him saying, you know, you have to be a liberal to be a talk show host because conservatives are all stupid. And the reason I want to get into that is it's illustrative of the overall elitist attitude. And it's also illustrative of how those shows have up to 100 writers, and it's all completely scripted. Even the pre-interviews they do with the folks that get there 2-3 hours before to script what they're going to talk about with the actors for 6-minute segments. I mean, to sit there and produce something like this and then say that conservatives couldn't do that is asinine. But that's all they've got is their so-called elitism, and we are defeating them. Now, before I hit some of the other really important news here, dealing with chemical warfare against the population and some of the other big breaking news that's on Infowars, Infowars.com, and the big announcements of how they're planning to censor the population. So they've been engaged in lots of pinprick censorship for decades, and now they've accelerated it, hoping you become punch drunk, and when they come out with hardcore total censorship, people just accept it. There's been an acclimation phase going on, and here's just one of the headlines. And I mentioned this one because it's excerpts from the Wall Street Journal. The Wall Street Journal is behind a paywall. This is out of the Next Web. Hold on to your tinfoil hat. Hold on to your tinfoil hat. Alex Jones YouTube is coming for you. Oh, they're coming for me, but hold on to my tinfoil hat. I said they're coming for our free speech. They already are. And when they openly announce that I'm the #1 target, that ought to tell you something. We're on to them. We're over the target. Even though I'm right, still hold on to the tinfoil hat. So we're going to be talking about that. And we're going to be talking about twice deported illegal drunk driver kills NFL player on Super Bowl Sunday. It's why we have Infowars. Because I have the anatomy of the media lying and saying that he was an Indiana man and a U.S. citizen when he was a twice deported illegal alien. So we'll not just show you our article, we'll show you the anatomy of how they lied about it, that then got caught, that had to have a tiny correction. And then we'll show you how we boiled it all down in one article. Because that's how they do. They cover it all up. And again, it's part of an agenda of trying to keep us dumb. Because if we're not genetically dumb, if we're not predisposed to be dumb, if nature didn't make us dumb, well, nurture, big old hammer upside your head of disinformation, it certainly will. And that is the big brass ring here. It is keep you in the dark like mushrooms and feed you Bravo Sierra. And I, for one, am completely and totally sick of it. So we're going to get into Kimmel first, then into all of that absolutely important information. Before I go any further, though, it's the plug of the hour. You know they're out to get us. You know they're trying to shut us down. I'm going to do a tour this week, I think with a live video feed, but with lights and everything, so it looks professional. But I want to do it live. Unannounced, I think, too. I'll just pick some time in the afternoon or the morning to march around here and then compare it to previous videos I've done over years past, to the 2 new studios we're building, the 25-plus new people that are here, the equipment everywhere, boxes everywhere, engineers everywhere, you name it, satellite uplinks going in, whole 9 yards. We are full attack. President told me, keep it up, don't back down, press the attack, we're going to win. I'm going to press the attack, I'm going to bust my ass, we're all going to work together. Men like us, we understand destiny, we're going to win. You feel the energy in the country? Yes, sir, Mr. President, I feel the energy. We're going to combine our energies together, we're going to win. And the energy is going to get even stronger, isn't it, Alex? Yes, sir, it is. Don't you know that scares these demons? Want us low energy? Want to break our spirit? Break our will? Like the Lord of the Rings analogy of wormer, grime tongue, you know, in the ear of the king, got him under a spell, or I'm too old to get up, I can't even walk. 2 weeks later, he's killing 1,000 orcs. That's what's happening. The spell is lifting, and people like Chucky Schumer and other hunchback demons like Pelosi, they know their time is short. So, we've got the best books, the best videos, the best supplements, the best water filtration, the best air filtration. We go out and find out what is market research, the very best nutraceuticals, the very best supplements, the very best everything. And then we massively discount. So 25% off on Brain Force. Shirt of the month, get 20% off. You cancel any time, but a new shirt comes every month. And we've got a limited time sale on Cell Force. It's about to end, it's about to sell out. I didn't want to step on Dr. Group's toes. We got even stronger BioPQQ CoQ10 by going to the big top organic national manufacturer. Group said, hey, I'm impressed you did this. No need to, you call it Cell Force, just confusing people. We'll just discontinue DNA Force and call this DNA Force Plus. So that's what's happened. Highest quality BioPQQ CoQ10. He's making 5 new products for us. That's a great job. But we went out to the biggest organic company out there, and we got this set up. So at medical facilities, other places, they sell us for $200, $300, $400. They put a 7, 8, 9, 10 markup on it, because it is. Before it was like $55, $60, depending on the run in each bottle. Well, now it's $30 in each bottle. And then we sell it for $69.95. That's over 100% markup, helps fund our operation. It's just no one gets true BioPQQ and CoQ10 at a price like this. Synthetic crud that you can't even absorb, that's way lower in dosage, is $50, $60 for little bitty plastic bottles at Whole Foods and everywhere. I'm getting ready to go in there and do a side-by-side comparison and show everybody. That's owned by Bezos now, so of course he's screwing you. Not us, man. We bring you pharmaceutical, nutraceutical grade. It's a great deal at $100. And if you want to buy it at that price and help fund the operation, that's great. You're already getting the best deal. At $69, it's going to be called DNA Force Plus. It's Cell Force right now. Infowarsstore.com, Infowarslife.com. The ultimate antioxidant, the ultimate for your telomeres, the ultimate for your inside your cells to get the toxins out. Cell Force, Cell Force, Cell Force. Infowarsstore.com, Infowarslife.com, or 888-253-3139. It's about to sell out. Then in a few months, we'll have DNA Force Plus in. The very same pill under a new, more powerful name. Thank you for funding our operation. Over a year in the making, produced by one of the top organic firms in the country, that if you want proven studies and documentation, I'm not going to speak for hours, just on the files I have here, of what this is